The Guam Department of Education has reported that about 100 laptops have been either stolen or damaged. GDOE Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Joe Sanchez, said during a weekly media meeting Wednesday that they are already receiving reports of laptops being vandalized or stolen. He says that they are already claiming insurance for the expected hit.
So we have insurance for damage, like if they're warped or if they're broken. We have about 100 that have been told to us, right? So it's a much lower number than we were prepared for. We're very happy about that. But again, that's really just based on those who we're trying to claim the insurance that we have on them. But there may be more. There may be more that are not yet reported. The schools have to do their checks with the students who currently have them. But right now, what's been reported to my office is about 100.
In August, the department distributed about 10,000 laptops to students for remote learning. Some GDOE schools are already requiring parents to return the devices to prevent further damages. And the Guam Department of Education Superintendent John Fernandez isn't opposed to serving another term on the Board of Directors of the Council of Chief State School Officers. The Board of Directors manage the overall business affairs for the council. Fernandez was appointed in early August to serve the remaining term of former Hawaii State Superintendent Christina Kishimoto. Fernandez said during a weekly media meeting Wednesday that he recently threw his hat in the ring.
Well, I've submitted my name to continue on the board. But of course, it's up to the body to determine whether or not that'll take place. So, yeah, I think it's an opportunity. It's been a good opportunity. I've been at those board meetings, virtual board meetings, to discuss the role of the organization, the role that it's playing in terms of moving education forward during this time of COVID-19 pandemic and recovery. And so, as a representative from this part of the world, I think it's been good to bring our perspective to the table with other states to talk about, what the priorities ought to be.
It's a nonpartisan nationwide nonprofit organization of public officials who head departments of elementary and secondary education in the states, D.C., the Department of Defense, Education Activity, and 5 U.S. extra-state jurisdictions. They provide leadership, advocacy, and technical assistance on major educational issues. Fernandez will be eligible to be elected to serve a full term in November. And officers with the Guam Police Department are exposed to dangerous and traumatic situations on a daily basis, and it can sometimes take a toll. A special group catering to police officers' mental health is now available. KUAM's Hannah Devanzo has this report.
A grant catering to the well-being and mental health of police officers helped establish a peer support group. Officer Eric Mondia was one of the officers who helped create the start of it.
We sat around at the table discussing what we can do to help our department, our officers, especially with our mental health issues and the stresses of everyday police life.
The group is unique because officers can connect and support with their fellow officers in ways others may not be able to.
A lot of the stuff that we do deal with, you can't bring it home. I mean, you can't speak to your spouse or relatives. There's code of ethics that are required of us, right? That we cannot just divulge things that we talk about. They're held on us in a public trust, confidential nature. And a lot of times too, even if we want to share those things, it's hard for them to relate, because they haven't experienced it. So that the goal of this program is because the department in the past, and we still do have a staff psychologist, which is great, and that's also an outlet for us to explore, right? But this program is more geared to opening that door, and starting the dialogue.
The overall goal of such a peer support group is that it provides a safe avenue for officers to get the help they need. GPD spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau is also a member of the peer support group.
We always want to better our service for our people of Guam, but we got to take care of the people that are there in the front lines, whether it be a sworn officer or a civilian support staff.
Other officers are encouraged to come out. The group tries to meet at least once a month. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Hannah Devanzo.
Police Chief Steve Ignacio says everything is still on track to open the new DNA lab on the GCC campus in October.
I do know that For the equipment, the collateral equipment that comes with that we need for the lab, that's already I think put out for bid. We went with GCC. We provided the funding to them, and we worked with them as their procuring agency to get the equipment. So I know the bid was put out a couple weeks ago, and hopefully we have enough vendors out there, interested vendors or qualified vendors to get us the DNA equipment.
The project has been in the making for more than a decade. It began in 2009 when the Guam Community College applied for a grant with the Department of the Interior. The design work was completed in 2012 and ground was broken in October 2019. Having the lab on island will allow DNA to conduct DNA analysis locally. Currently, GPD has been either working with NCIS or the FBI for help with DNA analysis. And the head of the Northern Mariana Islands Healthcare Corporation continues to stress the importance of prevention as travel entry protocols into Saipan hold steady and prevent massive outbreaks in the CNMI. CEO Esther Muñoz comments at this week's press conference.
This has been a public health mission since the beginning. I mean, we're for all public health officials. I think we take for we've always been putting out the messaging that public health prevention is key to preventing pandemic, and just the fact that working well with the task force and the governor really is important to try to ensure that the ingredients of getting public health prevention to work is there.
You can view the full weekly press conference at our website. And in more regional news, some residents sounding off in Saipan, where a 5-day quarantine is mandatory at a government facility, who say it might be better to return home as a tourist under South Korea's travel bubble because of better treatment. CNMI Governor Ralph Torres responded at a press briefing Friday morning.
This is something that we cannot please everybody. Even if you in place, you put these protocols across the board. There's essential workers as well. And we've had that in the past where even our doctors or our nurses who are essential, right? When they go to work, as long as there's no positive cases, it's different. But we've looked at it. We've looked at the benefit and cost benefit. Again, those are our convenience. As a returning resident, we welcome you to come home. And same with the tourist bubble.
The CNMI continues to consider expanding its current travel bubble program as island economies in the region strive to recover from the pandemic. And another episode of Pacific Matters airs on Monday right after prime time. And in honor of LGBTQ+ History Month, we catch up with Guam's very own Vince Crisostomo, a longtime advocate for our community. Here's a preview of our conversation. One thing, Vince, that I've seen you repeat a few times in your interviews is your take on the saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And you say, I've made some serious lemonade. I wanted to ask you about that. And I guess as a follow-up to that statement too, there's still a lot of stigma around the issues that queer and trans communities face. So what would your message be to those of us here in the Pacific who are also working through some of learning the history and addressing those systemic issues?
Interestingly, in the Pacific Island cultures, there are a lot of words for being trans, and they're very respectful. It's unfortunate that the stigma that has been introduced around these communities was brought in by outsiders. Because if you go back and look to our histories, in Hawaii and places, there are places where these trans who are really looked on with respect. And my piece around this is I started this new thing, is that I long for the day when my human rights don't depend on who's in office, that we don't have to do trainings, we have to teach people how they need to treat each other, and that a day when everybody can identify as either non-binary or gender non-conforming. And people laugh when I say that because it's like, oh, that's impossible. But we are trying to teach people to accept themselves, and we need to accept them. Sometimes I feel that what's happening with younger people today, with some of the older activists of my generation, is that we do to them what the heterosexual community did to us. And people's like, oh, please explain. I'm like, I don't have the time. How much time do you have? But it's, it doesn't. So, in addition to my work working with older people with HIV and long-term survivors of the HIV/AIDS epidemic, I make it a point to work with young people because they are our hope for the future.
Again, you can catch more on Monday right after prime time. And to raise awareness and further its mission, VARO Guam is hosting a 2K 5K event in recognition of Family Violence Awareness Month. Here's more with Isaiah Uggan.
Victims Advocates Reaching Out, also known as VARO Guam, is conducting a 2K 5K Family Violence Run Walk event next month in acknowledgement of Family Violence Awareness Month. The event starts on October 1st. Registration on early bird registration means a lesser fee of $20. Early bird registration is until next Thursday, October 8th. After that, it will be $30 through Sunday, October 31st. VARO Public Information Officer Trina San Augustine.
What it is that as soon as you register, and starting October 1st, you can accumulate your 2K or your 5K miles, whatever you register under. And what they have to do, who would like to participate and support VARO, would have to download a mileage tracker on their phone, which usually comes stock with Apple or Samsung phones. And then at the end of their accumulation of their 2K or 5K mileage, they're going to have to take a screenshot and send it to an email. And the email is available where they register, and they can register at guamtime.net. You get on the landing page, just scroll down and look for the VARO event hyperlink, and it'll take you straight through there.
According to San Augustine, VARO is a 39-year-old nonprofit volunteer organization that provides services to victims and families of domestic violence, sexual assault, abuse, violent crime, and traumatic events. VARO has helped some 344 primary victims and survivors of domestic violence and family violence from January of last year to June of this year. For more information about the event, email Trina at trina@outlook.com. Reporting for Guam News Network, Guahusi Isaiah Uggan.
And expect some delays in and around Naval Base Guam from October 4th to the 8th during Exercise Citadel Pacific 2021. According to the Navy, the annual anti-terrorism force protection exercise is designed to enhance the training, readiness, and capability of Navy security forces to effectively respond to threats. The Navy says they've taken measures to reduce disruptions during the exercise. However, you could see increased traffic around bases or delays in base access. Area residents may also see or hear security activities associated with the exercise. Stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we have the Culture Club, and still to come, Dave Delgado with our sports.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Manson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever-changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Manson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Manson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have two of Manson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Manson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
Building on the past, we at Docomo Pacific Business believe in helping businesses move forward and together, changing the way we get things done to make you and your company reach your highest potential. Trust in our commitment to bring you the best solutions for all your business goals. We are Docomo Pacific Business. Let's work better together.
Welcome back. For this week's Culture Club, we introduce you to digital storyteller Lawrence Lizama.
Culture Club, brought to you by Hanem.
Off the day, Guausi Lawrence Lizama. I'm a Chamorro Studies major, singer, and digital storyteller. I'm a science communicator with G3, so I do media for them, videography. And then before that, I was a youth development assistant with Anafa Maulik under Sanctuary. So I helped with the cultural program for, at first, at-risk youth, but then we were able to extend it out to just the island's youth in general, and then even further to the NMI with Saipan and Rhoda satellite camps. And then on the side, I do videography and production for Todong Marianas. I'm also a singer with the group Matlak Mona, which also has Pedro Bloss and Dan Stone in that. So I messed around a lot with like camera work and drone stuff like that, just on the side. But then it was Andrew Gumatauta and Sam Barnett that asked me to join Todong Marianas and help them out with that project. So that was really my first like main venture in videography and digital storytelling. So with that, it was really nice to see like and go to the different islands and experience their stories, and not only see the differences but really the similarities in their stories and our experiences, and through music and the arts as well. So that was really something empowering, which inspired me to come back and really get more into it after I went on that trip for the interviews. For music, definitely that's been a part of my life since I was young, but digital storytelling probably has to be in the past like 2 years only. So I'm really, just starting it, but I've had opportunities that really helped me to grow pretty quickly in it, and really get to work with awesome people too. For music and digital storytelling, it's for me, it's really a way for our people to see themselves like reflected in the media that we're producing, and for them to see like, hey, I can do that if I wanted to. Like, they don't have to go off island to be able to do it. Like, there's options here, and that's what I also want to do with like the work I'm currently doing, is make it easier for the next generation to be able to see themselves and like say like, oh, if he did it, he had the path to do it. Like, I'm able to do it, and I don't have to leave home and, contribute to that brain drain. Actually, I was living in Seattle for 4 years, and then when I moved back to Guam in 2017, I met up with Manny Cruz and Dr. Bavakla, and they were doing a podcast called Fanatu at the time. So I had experience with sound editing and audio recording. Because of my music side, I would, do GarageBand or whatever, audio production. So I met up with those guys, and that's when I started helping them produce the Fanatu podcast. I also started helping them do some recording or coverage for different independent Gohan events. And then from there, Manny really helped me in the technical side of like learning these programs, and then giving me the opportunities to, implement all that I've learned from him. And now I've been working at G3, and this is a totally different level of like production, and it's just it's a great experience for me to grow even further in this path that I'm on now. I would say going into digital storytelling or music, you just have to be, creative and innovative, and be able to tell your experience truthfully. Let that passion come through the music or the digital storytelling. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me, is that you got to stay true to yourself when you're putting out your work. Well, I think especially now with how easy it is to access technology, you got to have those resources available. I know growing up, you couldn't really find things online. It's always go look in a book, or the famous one is search it up in the encyclopedia. So now it's just on everyone's phone. And when we take up that space culturally, it creates another extension of our experiences, and being able to see if we document seafaring, if we document healing, if we document Kantan Chamarita, and it's easy access for the generation now, and they see that, there's a space created for Chamorro culture online, it's nice to have that visibility. Quality Lawrence Azama, and I'm a member of KUAM Culture Club.
Culture Club, brought to you by Hanem.
You can see this in future Culture Club segments on KUAM's digital platforms. And up next, we have sports.
100% truck, 100% Jeep. Experience next-level off-roading on your new Jeep Gladiator, the most capable off-road midsize pickup truck crafted for adventure, equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary 4x4 Jeep capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a 2021 Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $315 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Visit CarsPlusGuam.com to get pre-approved online today. Terms and conditions apply. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup is brought to you by Gatorade.
I'm here with Mara Tamayo, Lavana Aroman, and Hannah Rojas, who play rugby for the Mount women's rugby team. You guys already played 3 games this season. Tell us how so far the season's been going for you guys.
So far, we played Harvard and LIU, which is Long Island University. We also challenged Manhattanville, but that was a sevens tournament. For Harvard, unfortunately, we lost, but for LIU, we won. And that was an achievement for us. We're striving to get to the top 4 in our division, and we have to prepare a lot for the next upcoming games.
Well, Lavana and Hannah, you guys are both seniors on the team. Any goals or expectations for this season?
Well, not specifically for this season, but my whole 4 years in general, it was a personal goal that I wanted to make for myself, that I wanted to make the starting roster all my 4 years for every single game, no matter if it was 15s or 7s. Like, that was just my goal of like working hard, and then my reward was just getting on the roster and playing in the starting 15 or 7.
For me, it's really been about leaving everything I have on the field. As a forward, it's really competitive. We have a lot of people in the same position, and I always wanted to put in as much work on the field as I can before our subs come in. I would say that coming from Guam and playing all the way out here in Maryland, it gives me a large sense of pride, because not only are there girls here playing at the Mount, but there's girls playing at Dartmouth, there's girls playing at American International University. And just the mere fact that all these women, especially coming from Guam and playing this massive physical sport, it just fills me with so much pride and happiness that, hey, we may come from a small island, but we're here to show the entire world that we can put up a fight.
Bobby Cerronio, MMA fighter. You won your debut in Bellator 266, but it was a crazy road leading up to the fight, because during training camp, you had your fight set, but then there was an opponent change during training camp.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I had one opponent set up, and then midway during fight camp, my opponent backed out, and they set me up with another guy. And then what's even more crazier